This one mistake will ruin your wild camp.
What a nightmare. Welcome to Wales. Just on the A5, took us ages to get parked, and once we get into a bit more rural area, then I'll let you know what we're doing today. Look at this for a spot. You can see why it's so busy. Amazing, lovely spot. That's a pretty cool waterfall, but we're still a bit of a way from where we're going. Our walk starts just down here, and so the climb begins. First stop is Llyn Idwal, so that's going to be where we're maybe going to camp later. But before we do that, we have to go up the Devil's Kitchen and then up to Garn, which is 3,100 feet. And there's a couple of other tarns, and we might camp at those, but we'll see. We're on just after 1:30 now. It gets darker on 6 o'clock, so we're going to have to get a bit of a move on. Otherwise we could end up in the dark. Look at that. Looks so good with all the white water coming down it. So I'm pretty sure the first lake is just in this bowl here, and that's why we'll ascend the Devil's Kitchen, which should be quite interesting, but quite steady up this first bit. It doesn't seem too much of a climb. So here we go, Llyn Idwal. What a nice spot. Looking back, lovely views looking back there. And what a spot this is. The Devil's Kitchen, somewhere over that side I believe. So we're going to head around this side of the lake and work our way up somewhere up there, I'm pretty sure. So let's get on with it. Look at this for a view though, coming up here with that waterfall coming down. What an incredible spot. This is actually just an amazing spot. It looks like it's a really good camping spot over there, but there is some people over there. Obviously it's going to be 4 hours, well 3 hours from now before we even come back to here, but that's just something to keep in mind. Look at that for a waterfall up there. Literally falls all the way down. There's plenty more of them just dotted about, coming all the way down the hills. Really cool. Look how steep that is. Just such a big slanted piece of rock. I'm still not seeing a route up here somewhere. Look at that for a view down there. Starting to climb up a little bit now. What a great view. So it's come all the way from that side, and soon we'll be at the bottom of the Devil's Kitchen. Honestly, there's just water coming down in every direction for all kinds of nooks and crannies in the rock. Look at this for a view though.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that was Leo in the background. That's how much he likes it. And I can't really say I disagree, to be honest. It is pretty spectacular. But I'm pretty sure we're going up that little crack up there. From here it looks pretty tricky. So we are nearly at the very bottom of Devil's Kitchen, and I think it's just that really tight. Obviously it's not going to be that tight when you're up there, I don't think, but we're just going to squeeze up that gap, which certainly looks interesting. On second thought, there is a full waterfall coming down it, so I'm not sure if that is the route, so I'm definitely going to have to double check that. So there you go, we start coming up it, and we don't go up that waterfall, luckily, because it did look a bit tricky, but I asked someone. Apparently it's just mostly like this, so not too bad. Just pretty bloody steep. Yeah, it's pretty easy going, is this? Well, in terms of how technical it is, but in terms of tiredness and the steepness, it's pretty full on. Look at that for a view behind. Wow, I definitely climbed up a little bit here. So tiring though. So steep, especially with such a heavy bag. Pulling that up, not an easy task. Still quite a bit to go as well. What a view. Absolutely amazing. Done a fair bit of climbing now though, but it's probably still a decent way to go, because the summit is about 3,100 feet, which will be the second highest mountain I've ever done, only behind Scafell Pike. Holy smackaroonies! That is tiring. Wow. So we're pretty much at the top of the Devil's Kitchen, and he didn't decide to cook us too much. And that stile there marks the end of the Devil's Kitchen. So we're gonna have a little stop and enjoy the view. There we go, I think the end is in sight. So we've got a good, I don't know, at least 500 feet. It could be close to 1,000. So let's get this cracked. Let's see what kind of view we get from the top. There you go, I think that maybe is Glydders 4 up there. But there's a nice, I'm going to say little, but it's actually a reasonable sized tarn up here. And then we follow this big wide track up to the top. So here we go. The final climb, and it does still look quite a way up there, I'm going to be honest, but the sun is still high in the sky. Oh, that is a big step. There we go, over the final stile. Now the final push to the summit, so let's get up to summit. Looks cool over there how the cloud stuck to the peaks, but we're working our way up here slowly, very slowly, but making progress. It's just steep up here. This isn't even the steepest part. So over there you've got Tryfan, which definitely looks difficult, so I won't be doing that one with this heavy rucksack on. That was a good ridge along the top of there. I'm pretty sure that's Snowdon over that pointy bit in the back, and I think that's Berghaus, which definitely looks quite tricky. A grade 1 scramble I think it is, but it's really exposed. But you can see that low cloud is definitely coming over. This final pull is definitely harder than it looks. Probably just over halfway up the gravelly bit, and I'm struggling. My legs are so tired. What a view though. So we're just having maybe one more final break at this cairn, and then the final push. Wow, my legs are so tired. I feel like I need to stop after every few minutes. I'm dying. Not much longer to go. I'm looking forward to some food and a nice sit down, and more for a nice drink when we get to camp. Wow. There you go, you can see the road all the way down there where we're parked. A very long way down, but it's the final push. Or at least I hope that's the top one. I'm going to be really disappointed. So let's go. The top is in sight. Jesus Christ, my legs are tired. They'll be fine once I've sat down, but wow, pretty windy up here as well. Great view looking down there. You can see that cloud coming over. Just a couple of peaks in the cloud, but that's definitely beneath us. So we might camp a bit lowered so we don't end up in that in the night. Ow, hit my hand. But we are here. I believe it's just the top, but what a view. Wow, that's a view. Has clouded over a little bit, but even still we're parked all the way down there. Wow, I feel good now I'm up here though, I'll tell you that. I feel absolutely great now I'm up here. So as always, as I like to do, this is our lunch stop for the day, and the wind's just picked up, but it's not too bad really, looking down there. So we're going to have a bite to eat, even though it's about 4 o'clock now, so it's not really lunch. Then we're going to head down here. That guy in the orange shorts, he is him. We just spoke to him and he's done the Welsh 3000. So he set off at 5:45, did Berghaus when it wasn't very good weather, and now he's going to go all the way around. And I think he said he's done about 8 of the Welsh 3000, so he's got a few to go. He's going to camp and then do the other ones in the morning. And after he's done all that, he's just like sprinting up that. Look, he's nearly up there. He went up way quicker than us. Wow. Definitely couldn't be doing that. Look at that for a view looking down there with that ridge. There you go, that's what we've just come down. That's probably the hardest part done. This next path looks pretty easy. Maybe just a bit of a tricky part down there, but unfortunately the tarn just down here might be just out of sight. There's some people pitched there, and that was one of our pitch spots. So we might have a quick look over there, see if there's anywhere else. But we don't want to intrude on any other people, so it might end up being down at the big lake. Working our way down this ridge now. which is a lovely walk just down this path, just with this great view in front of you. Really is out of this world. So here comes another slow section where we're gonna have to watch our feet, but once we get down this, should be pretty easy going. We might have a little turn off there to go to some tarns to see if there's any other spots over there, but if not, we'll head down to the main lake or tarn. Woo! Look at that for a shot. Leo walking along with that lake in the background. We were going to camp over there, but obviously there's people over there, so we're going to leave it. It seems silly to walk over there. We can't see any other spots, so we're going to go down to this big one down here, hopefully find a nice spot, maybe try squeezing a swim before we get the tents up, because it's about 4:30, so we want the tents up really before 6 o'clock and before it starts getting properly dark. Look at that though, amazing. I'll tell you what, they have some really clean sheep in Wales. Like, you could literally shave that sheep and make a rug out of it, but you go to like the Lake District, the dirtiest sheep ever. So strange. So this sheep has just taken us to this spot. He's just been chewing out some nice grass so we can have a bit of an area to camp. So this is going to be our reserve option. So if we don't find anywhere else, we'll come here. We can probably pitch 2 tents here, one there, one there. But let's get in the water and have a swim and cool off. Here goes Leo. And here goes, it is pretty chilly in here, especially as the sun's gone. But what a lovely spot. Time to get myself in there. Whew. Oh. Let's have a quick swim out. Oh. Oh. One-handed swimming. Never an easy task. Can I touch the floor here? That'll do. It's bloody cold, so that'll do for today. Maybe another in the morning, we'll see. But let's get out and have some drinks. Let's go. So as you can see, out of the water, and it's still quite mild. There is a bit of a breeze, but it's still pretty mild. So we're gonna walk around here and see if there's a camping spot over there. As fortune would have it, people have gone to the other spot, which was our backup spot, but we wanted to go for a swim. And this spot over here is a bit more mainstream, I guess you could call it, but I can't even see anyone there. So if we get over here, this could be perfect. So this is really unorthodox, but we saw this little island and we just thought for a second, what if you could camp on the island? It might be a bit windier, but just what if you could? Right, I might give it a go with my bag off and I'll let you know, report back. So I've made it across the trickiest bit, apart from this last bit. My boots are quite slippy now. I should have just taken them off and just walked over here, shouldn't I? Really? Right, so I can't really hold the camera while I'm doing this, so I'm going to have to put it away and try to get over. This final part looks a bit tricky to cross. So we're going to go to this other spot. If that's no good for whatever reason, we'll probably come back here, because I think you could do it on there. So if you ever come, this is the spot. I definitely want to try it out sometime, 100%, because I don't even think anyone else would really come to this spot, because it's a bit awkward to get to. So even if it's busy, I can't imagine other people would come here. But for today, we're gonna go have a look over there and see what it's like. Right, so this rock here is a bit rocky, as in it rocks side to side. But it's the quickest way to get across. Oh, I'm so scared. What a nightmare! Oh, what a nightmare! Well, that's wet feet for the rest of the night. Not sure how bad they are. They definitely got pretty wet. Every time I come camping, I usually end up with a wet boot somehow. Even though they're waterproof, I managed to get it over the top. Right, let's go over to that other spot. So as much as I was a bit attached to the island just over there, and it did look kind of cool, and it would have been a pretty cool video, but this spot, it's a bit close to the path, but it's perfectly good in terms, like, look how short the grass is, and it's not on much of a hill. And with a great view. It's got a great view behind it, and also protected from the wind, because it's blowing over this way. So let's get a tent set up, try out my boots, and then we can relax for the rest of the night.
After 20 minutes, my tent was up. Leo, on the other hand, was still pitching over an hour later. By the time his tent were up, darkness covered the skies above us.
So here we go. I don't know what time it is. pretty late, to be honest. I don't know. It could be 9 o'clock or something, I'm not sure. And this is my food. It probably don't look great, but I've got this chorizo and butter bean soup, but it's almost like a tomato sauce. I've then put some extra chorizo in it. I've got it with couscous, and then I have put something else in it, red pepper. And it looks pretty good, and I've already had a bit. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna fake it. I've already had a bit, and it is quite good. And they say that it only took me about 5 minutes to make. Really, really easy. So I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this now, and Leo's gonna get some of his own food. So I've made something else to eat. This time a wrap, got a bit of bacon in there, a bit of chorizo and a bit of pepper, toasted the tortilla a tiny bit. So let's enjoy this. Then we're gonna probably go refill our waters and then sit and chill for a bit, and then have a bit more food later. So as you can see, I'm in my tent, and for once I've actually got a nice light, because I've got a new lantern which is lighting me up, and it almost feels like I'm in a dentist chair because it's on the brightest setting. You know, when you lay back at the dentist and you've just got that shining in your face. But honestly, that walk today was really good. I was a bit worried because we couldn't get parked, but in the end it all worked out, and we found this nice spot, and it's not really too windy here. There's been odd gusts which are quite strong, but other than that it's been fine. We've had some good food, nice and easy to make as well, which makes a nice change. And right now I've not even got socks on. I'm just wearing a hoodie, top underneath, joggers and shorts, obviously my sleeping bag, and I just feel nice and toasty, whereas usually I've got my hat, my gloves, and I'm like struggling to keep heating. But I feel nice and toasty tonight, so it should be a good night. We'll see what tomorrow has to bring. So have a good night. And we're up finally, so it's around, I don't know, 7:15ish. So we're going to cook up some food, or I'm going to cook up some food, and then we're going to get packed up and head down. That's our camp spot for the night, or was our camp spot for the night. Could have made it a bit more taut, but I just wanted to relax. It was getting dark and it did the job. Honestly, a really good sleep. So I went to sleep around 10:30. I ended up getting up about 4ish and then got back to sleep at about 5, and then didn't finally get up till around 7 when the sun came up. Overall, a really good sleep, probably one of the best ones that I've had while wild camping, and I don't even feel hungover at all really today. So when I got up in the morning at 5, there's people walking up the route we did and all the way up Devil's Kitchen at 5 in the morning. There are 3 of them doing it. But yeah, just gonna get the final bits packed up, go fill up with some water, and then head down. So there you go, all cleared up. Obviously left no trace. Now it's time to head down, so I might as well finish off the video here. So yeah, it's definitely up there with one of my favourite wild camps, like the walk and the camp combined. So if you did enjoy as well, don't forget to leave a like, drop a sub, and if you want to watch me solo wild camp for the first time, click the screen now.